We can help you to become a $1 million real estate investor. Ask me how. My name is Gohar Gregorian with Keller Williams Realty. In this episode, we are going to share a successful real estate strategies that have been used to create successful portfolios. We hope after watching this episode, you are going to be able to use these strategies to build your own $1 million portfolio and become a successful investor. Most people don't know that they can become $1 million real estate investor very quickly if they have the right guidance, resources, and tools. Let us welcome back RJ Dillon. So RJ, tell us how anyone can become a $1 million real estate investor.
To become a $1 million real estate investor in the smallest period of time, we need to come to the point where we understand a couple of things, right? The first and the most important thing you need to understand in terms of how much money that you can make flipping properties is simply this. If you are flipping properties right now in this market, April 2023, you should be making between 35 and a 50% annual return on your dollars. So an individual who is investing $100,000 should expect to make $50,000 over the next 12 months. Now, how do you go from starting out with $100,000 and making that $100,000 into $1 million? It's quite simple. Your first deal should be accomplished, completely finished within 9 months. And I'm being very conservative because the experienced flippers are completing these deals in under 6 months, right? Considering that you are new, it may take you 9 months. So after one 9-month investment cycle with a $100,000 investment, you're going to realize a return on that of $40,000 to $50,000. Once that is completed, your second deal begins potentially with a capital investment of $150,000. $150,000 is going to create $75,000 to $100,000 return over 6 months. And then within the third cycle, that second half of your second year, you should be looking to invest all of your proceeds, which is potentially $200,000, into one deal, which is now going to create a $100,000 return. In the next cycle, you may be able to do 2 deals or 3 deals or 4 deals over that next year. And as you can see, it really begins to stack up very quickly and roll over very quickly. A $100,000 investment today could create $1 million in liquidity in a period of 4 to 5 years, very realistically.
So RJ, let's talk about our client John, who recently did a couple of investment flipping, and he was very successful. Let's share that story.
Yes, so I guess the first thing that I want to say about John is it's not necessarily the typical example, but it is an example of how someone can become a millionaire investor very, very quickly. John's first property he purchased for $400,000. That property was old, needed a lot of updating, and it was a multi-unit property with 4 units. At the point when he purchased the property was not productive, as one of the tenants was not paying rent, but all of the other units were vacant. So the property was purchased a little bit below market value. Well, John purchased this property putting down a 30% down payment. He then completed renovations of $200,000. Once those renovations were completed and the new tenants were in place, the property value became $900,000. After 1 year, because John did not follow the script, He was supposed to sell this property and take the profits. However, he fell in love with the property and he wanted to keep the property as a rental property. It works out that in this particular case, he was able to do that because there was so much equity. We then refinanced that property where he was able to pull out all of the cash that he put into the property and then some. Approximately $250,000 to $300,000 he was able to pull back out of this property after a year. We then took that $300,000 and targeted his new property, which is a mixed-use property on a downtown Main Street. He was able to purchase that property at a price of just $500,000 because this property, again, totally vacant, unproductive, being sold below market value. The rehab on this property is much higher than the previous one. We did about $550,000 in rehab. All of those dollars was funded inside of the loan that we gave to him. So after the purchase and the rehab of this property, that property was then marketed at a price of $2 million. And now the interesting thing about it, again, it's not the typical 1 to 4 unit property that was able to produce that high of a return. But the interesting about it was he was able to create in this mixed use property 4 beautiful apartments and 1 store on a very busy downtown street, and that's where all of that added value came from. Identifying the right property and having the right plan and then executing that. And within 2 deals, he became a $1 million investor.
If you want to become premier investor partner like our client John did, please click the link below and we'll see you on the other side.